So I think I'm gonna get back into Yu-Gi-Oh. Time to get back to business. Over the last number of weeks, I have been spending a lot of time down at the shop, trying out a myriad of different decks, really just trying to get a feel for the meta. So let's hit the montage and the recap.
We woke up to in a hot Like Dunkin' Donuts.
He's got my deck still.
Yeah, that's a pretty deck.
Thank you.
I put together Shaddolls Invoked with Mario, and we did some playtesting. He used Spyral, we played 10 games, and well, this deck, it is fantastic. Mario won 5 games, I won 5 games, and the winner, it was entirely dictated by who won the dice roll. So, if you like playing competitively and enjoy non-linear strategies, I highly recommend giving this deck a try.
See, the most important part of the video.
Are they max?
The fact that Shaddolls Invoked could keep up with Spyral, what everybody considered the best deck of the format, I think speaks volumes. However, I did want to continue exploring. Now, we have a player at our locals named Zach. He is a big guy, he likes big monsters, and he's actually been playing Dinosaurs for a good number of months now. The deck has recently found a lot of success, and he taught me a great deal of the plays over a couple of mirror matches. We both worked from lists that won YCS Vegas, and I have to say, I love this deck. I think that Dinosaurs are extremely competitive, I think that they are a lot of fun, and it is definitely a deck I want to sink a lot of time into in the future. I suppose it's also worth noting that I did try Spyros and Cayuga Lunalights, however, I definitely prefer Dinosaurs and Danger Psyframe Lunalights over just about everything. So those are the two I'd like to focus on in the future. However, we don't have a lot of time left in Master Rule 4, we don't have many events left, and I do want to perfect a deck we've been working on for a long time. I think it deserves one more event, that deck, of course, being Hero. This deck, Heroes, it got me back into the game. It is something that took me a while to learn. It is very non-linear. It is a lot of fun. You can do so much with it. And it is something I want to perfect before we move into the next Master Rule and everything changes. So I am going to edit the deck, but I'm going to do so with the help of the best of the best. We are going to sign up to Duelist Academy up over on Patreon, and we are going to make this something really special. The Patreon is run by some of the best players in the game. At different tiers, they'll help you adjust your deck, playtest, go over replays, and even coach you. The coach I'm selecting is a guy who actually inspired me to try Safer Thunder combo. He is a proud member of Game Nation. He has won multiple YCS events, and in case you haven't guessed, that player is Jesse Kotton. So we have officially signed up to have Jesse Kotton as our coach, and I have to say, it is so amazing that we have opportunities like this to learn from people who are absolutely excellent at the game and just the general technical skill. I am really looking forward to this. I will definitely fill you in on how it goes. However, it is getting a little bit late. My girlfriend is going to be home soon, so I will see you guys in a little bit. So we are back. I actually talked to Jesse on Facebook, and we are going to jump into our Discord call right now. We began with the basics by talking about my background in the game, what I felt I needed to work on, and just what my general goals were. From there, we looked at a couple of different hero lists. He gave me a lot of great general advice about the game, side decking, and really just implored me to step outside of my comfort zone and try cards that people just weren't kind of considering at the time to really try something new. So he did put a heavy emphasis on ensuring that the deck did exactly what it intended to do consistently, rather than trying to stop the opponent with things such as hand traps, as it is a combo deck, and generally drawing a single hand trap, it's not going to do that much.
I think Mass Change 2 maybe kind of fixes the issue a little bit. It'll help you push through back and more, because now you can kind of tag out when they try like use their traps on you. Obviously lets you play through some of the hand traps better, and then give you some more offensive pressure when you start. And then you can steal some games, obviously.
So we are back. Those 2 hours, they just flew by. I took lots of notes. And now let's talk about some of the specific changes and why we made them. He convinced me to add in additional draw cards and mass change too, just to ensure that we wouldn't run into dead hands despite our many garnets, and probably play through an interruption or two, which is generally a really big issue for heroes. He also suggested putting in a pointer of the Red Lotus, as it is a fantastic side card to deal with issues like that of Lightning Storm, Evenly Matched, Kaijus, Dark Ruler no more, just so many blowout cards that heroes really do have an issue with. Jesse noted that he actually prefers this card over Solemn Judgment because of the information it provides you on the opponent's hand and their upcoming play. In Yu-Gi-Oh! Information, it is incredibly valuable, and knowing what their line of play is going to be means you know when to use your disruptions. It means that you know how to counter their strategies, and that's just so valuable. So really looking forward to giving this a try. The deck as a whole is just about complete. I'm missing 2 Paleozoic Dynamiscus, which I intend to use on the side. However, I did message Carter over on Facebook. He noted that he did have 2 for me to borrow, so we're good there. And for those of you wondering why Paleozoic Dynamiscus, it's essentially a grayed out to everything. It's incredibly versatile. It can out Mystic Mind, problematic back row, things like Vanity's Fiend. So just absolutely fantastic card. Really looking forward to giving it a try. And we are going to head down to the shop. But before we do that, I have one package I want to share with you. Something I've been waiting for months now. I've been incredibly excited about it. I've been teasing it a little bit. But it's a big moment for me. I'm really excited to share it with you. So let's go grab the package and do just that. So here we have it. It is a t-shirt. It is a collaboration between Nyhmnim and I. He approached me a couple of months ago asking if I would do my own rendition of Demise of the Land for his clothing brand Optimal, and I was absolutely honored. I love his sealed only series. It actually inspired me to start this channel, and being able to work on this with him, again, it was such a huge honor. So I used oil paints. I worked on a 12x12 canvas. I did what I do, and it was fantastic. I know a lot of you guys in the comments, you've been saying, Ryan, why don't you paint a Yu-Gi-Oh card? I actually have been in the background. I've been having a lot of fun with this, and I love that I can finally share it with you guys. This was such a passion project, and I love how it turned out. So if you've ever wanted a piece of Ruggles merch, while I don't have my own, I do now have this collaborative piece with Nyhmnim. He is a great guy to support. Again, he really inspired me to start this channel, and we put a lot of time and effort into this. I know I personally am going to be very proud of wearing this out and about. But with that said, I did quickly just glance over the clock, and yet again, I am going to be late to locals. So I'm going to get packed up incredibly quickly, and I will see you guys in just a minute.
Ooh, we might not.
Brandon and I got there and noticed that we actually had a pretty decent showing. I picked up the 2 Paleos from Carter and we jumped into round 1 of our 13-man tournament. At this point, I was actually really excited to test our new build, and I luckily did win the dice roll. Despite drawing a Miracle Fusion, I did have Mass Change and Ferris, which meant the hand was quite decent, and we were able to proceed into our Dark Claw Plasma play as we normally like to do. From there, the lines of play were fairly normal, and I did end with a Plasma, a set Mass Change, and a Malicious. My opponent drew activated Pot of Duality, and I chained Mask Change to summon Darklaw and attempt to rip a card out from his hand. However, he used a Demise of the land, the irony was crazy, on Darklaw's summon and activated a Mystic Mine directly from deck. This rendered a couple of different emotions. The first was like, wow, this is cool, I just painted a Demise of the Land and now here we are. The second was, oh wait, I've literally never won a match against Mystic Mine with heroes. So it was time to see just how effective Jesse Kotton's deck building and side decking really were. I didn't have any outs to it main deck, so I promptly scooped it up and dove into my side deck, which now had Paleos, Twin Twisters, Lightning Storms, and an Imperial Order. Siding out was also quite easy because we did have a lot of non-essential draw cards. From there, I noted that he could go first. I drew both a Lightning Storm and a Twin Twister. However, he had card destruction, and while I was able to search an extra monster off of Shadow Mist, I didn't have any back row removal in my new hand. He then played Mystic Mine and Field Barrier. Over the next couple of turns, I did summon a fair number of monsters, so when I finally did draw an out, I would be able to simply steal the game, and luckily, a couple of turns later, I did draw Paleozoic Dynamiscus, which did banish the Mystic Mine. This was the perfect card because it doesn't destroy, it was able to get over Field Barrier, and because of Jesse's suggestion, we were now 1-1. The third game began, I drew Imperial Order and summoned a Liquid Soldier so I could build up a board and just chip away at his life points. The plan worked, and many turns later we did take the game because he wasn't able to play the Mystic Mine. This was actually the first time I did end up beating Mystic Mine with heroes, and I was feeling extremely good. The second match was against Zach, and today he had a pretty pink hat. Now, as I noted earlier, Zach has been playing Dinos for a while now, and I knew this would be a tough match. He won the dice roll and told me I could go first. I, yet again, opened with Ferris and Mass Change, which meant I could build my general board of Malicious, Mass Change, and Plasma. He drew Activated Extravagance. I chained my Mass Change to steal a card from his hand, that card being a Baby Sarasaurus. From there, he dropped a Lightning Storm, destroyed all of my monsters, summoned a lot of big dinos, and simply OTK'd despite banishing his Dolka and Lagia with the Extrav. Again, I knew this match would be really tough. I knew I could go first, so it was time to test the appointers Jesse suggested. I also put in anti-spells to help stop things like that of Lightning Storm and Mind Control. I drew a semi-awkward hand, simply summoned an increase, and set both a Mass Change and a Pointer. On his turn, he drew Activated Extrav. I chained Mask Change to make Darklaw, ripped another Baby Sarasaurus, and then I used a Pointer to gain a lot of information and banish his Lost World. With limited resources, he set a monster, a back row, and passed back. Thanks to Darklaw turns later, we were able to take the game, as he simply wasn't able to get Dinosaurs in the graveyard for Miscellaneousaurus or his Superconductor Tyranno. Game 3, I opened double a Pointer, Anti-Spell, and essentially 2 heroes. I felt incredibly confident, started building my board until he dropped Nibiru. Luckily, my double appointers were able to take both Oviraptors from his hand on the following turn, and that essentially let us win because he couldn't follow up after that. So, yet again, Jesse's side cards really coming in clutch here, and this match, very tough, very, very fun. I love the Dino deck, I love playing against Zach. He's one of those guys who enjoys being competitive, but he definitely puts the element of being friendly first. That's personally how I feel it should be, and it was a lot of fun. So many thanks to Zach for teaching me the Dino deck on the previous week, and just for having a great match with me here as well. With that said, we only need to win one more match to top, so things were going extremely well today. Round 3 was against Ganon, and I was expecting Shaddolls Invoked. However, he did decide to have a bit more fun today. Ganon went first, dropped Instant Fusion, dropped Wielder, made Dante, and went off with Burning Abyss. I opened with a semi-decent hand, used Fusion Destiny to make Dystopia and pop his back row, which he did chain. From there, the goal was to make a Plasma and steal his XYZ, as I really wasn't sure what he intended to summon with its destruction effect. From there, I went into Cross Crusader, brought back Dystopia, and started swinging. The next play was to simply summon a Decimator and end. He drew, activated Dark Ruler no more, summoned Alti Tour Guide, have to pay those respects, and went into Appaloosa for 2. I unfortunately didn't have any Destiny Hero targets left in my deck, but I did Allure, which got me both a Miracle Fusion and Rhoda, which actually won me the game. Game 2, yet again, I opened fairly well, summoned Ferris, he used Imperm, so I simply normaled Stratos and searched an Honest Neos. Then I set my Mask Change too. He started with another Alti Tour Guide, eventually stole my Dark Law with an Econ, and essentially just took the game from there. Game 3, I drew yet another great hand, made Decimator, Dystopia, Plasma, and had a set Mask Change too. And then, this happened. He actually played Raigeki. That was his follow-up play. He destroyed my board. It is a common joke that, why play heroes when they simply lose to Dark Hole and Raigeki? The joke is funny because nobody actually plays Dark Hole or Raigeki. However, apparently, except Ganon. So, we lost Game 3 to Raigeki, to Ganon. Which is honestly fine. It's really funny. It's great content. I'll take it. So, yeah. On to the next match. Our 4th round was against Blake. He was playing Shaddolls Invoked. Luckily, I did go first, summon Darklaw, Plasma, and that essentially won me Game 1. Game 2, he hit me with 2 Droll and Lockbirds on top of a Nibiru, and one with a Construct, which I simply couldn't out. Game 3, we opened a Pointer, Fusion Destiny, and Mask Change 2, which meant we could go Darklaw, Plasma, and steal a card, which essentially won us the 3rd game of the match. And now we won 3 matches, we lost 1, which meant we were actually going to top. And a Pointer of the Red Lotus has by far been the MVP of the day, and I am loving the hands we've drawn. It has been absolutely fantastic.
I don't remember which pizza was mine, but this one.
The top 4 consisted of Gareth, Ganon, David, and myself. It was a diverse set of decks, and I was up against Gareth playing Cyber Dragons. Admittedly, I believe I do lose more to Gareth than I do to anyone else, and I knew this would be yet another really tough match. He won the dice roll, told me I could go first, and I opened a beautifully broken hand. I opened with an E-Call to grab Stratos, summoned him, which ended up searching me a Ferris, which I did reveal to special summon itself and discard a Malicious. Increase was then activated from deck. I popped Ferris to special summon the Increase and a Vion from deck, which of course put the Shadow Mist in grave. Mist searched me a Liquid Soldier, and I went into Cross Crusader, which special summoned the Malicious from grave, which I then tributed to search an Honest Neos. Next, I banished Mali to special Mali and used Poly on my Vion and Liquid Soldier in hand. They summoned a Sunriser, which searched me a Miracle Fusion, and I drew into 2 Fusion Destinies, one of which I did discard. The next play was to go into a Wonder Driver and use Mask Change on Mali to go into Darklaw. This allowed me to reset my Mask Change. I then banished Mali to special Mali and summoned a Dread Decimator. From there, I used Miracle Fusion to bring out Absolute Zero and Fusion Destiny to special summon a Dystopia from my extra deck. Dynatag was then banished to further boost my Dystopia, and I ended with an Honest Neos in hand and a set Mask Change. This was probably the best board I have ever made with heroes. We had a disruption with Dystopia, we had a potential board wipe with our 0 into Acid with Mask Change. We also were banishing everything he used. We could potentially rip a card out of his hand if he searched a card. We also had 2 forms of battle protection, with that of Sunriser and the Honest Neos in hand. It was just absolutely perfect. And again, I was right up here. I am loving the new build of this deck and just how consistent it is. He drew Nibiru as his 6th card, summoned Nashter, I popped it with Dystopia, and we moved on to game 2 where I sided up Pointers, Anti-Spells, and Imperial Order. I, for the first time, drew not a fantastic hand. However, as long as my Stratos went through, I knew I would be fine. Unfortunately, it did not go through. He did hit it with an Imperm, and I was forced to pass with only a Plasma on board. He had no issue running it over with a regular Cyber Dragon, and pretty simply took the game from there. We are now moving on to game 3. I am having the best time. I love playing Gareth. It is an incredibly tough matchup, but at this point, despite the last hand, I am loving the new deck. I opted to go first game 3, opened a great hand, and ended on Plasma, Dystopia, Cross Crusader, Shadow Mist, and a set mask change. Gareth activates Foolish Burial, but I did decide to hold off on the mask change and Darklaw, just in case he did draw something like that of a Mind Control. If he did, and I made Darklaw, he would simply be able to take my Plasma, then use its effect to take the Darklaw, and really just run me over from there. So I did decide to play conservatively and hold back until he brought out a Chimera Tech Rampage Dragon and entered Battle Phase. Here I used my mask change on Shadow Mist to summon the Darklaw and search an Honest Neos for a little bit of extra battle protection. Then he attempted to swing, I popped his fusion with my Dystopia, and we took the match. Again, Gareth is someone I love to play. I really do feel like I lose more to him than anyone else, so this was a massive accomplishment. I was incredibly happy. And we are now moving on to the top 2, where yet again I am playing Ganon and Burning Abyss, which I actually do find to be a really tough matchup just because I have no idea what he's attempting to do, what his end boards are supposed to be, what his win cons are. I definitely need to do a lot of research into this deck, but regardless, I am very much looking forward to just jumping into it and really learning as much as I can. Ganon won the dice roll, opted to go first, and ended on an IP, Beatrice, and a back row. I started building my board, he used Call by the Grave on my Mally, and went into Unicorn, bouncing my Anki. I swung with some big damage, he drew, dropped Raigeki again, and over the next turn just built more of a board I couldn't deal with, so we moved on to game 2. Game 2, I didn't draw a handful of elaborate plays, but Darklaw and Dynamiscus are extremely strong. So I summoned my Vion, it got hit with an Imperm, I chained my Mask Change to summon Darklaw and allow my Vion's effect to go off. The Vion sent my Shadow Mist, which did end up searching me an Honest Neos, and I ended my turn after setting the Paleo. He drew, used Allure, I banished a Snake with the Darklaw effect, and he dropped Dark Ruler no more. Next he summoned a couple of 3s, I banished the Snake, he passed, and I summoned a Liquid Soldier, special summoning the Shadow Mist from Grave, and searching me another Mask Change, which, with Honest Neos, essentially equated to game. So we're moving on to game 3. Ganon opened game 3 and ended on a Vanity's Fiend. I drew and realized my only real out was summoning a Stratos, searching an Honest Neos, and running it over. However, he did Solemn my Stratos. On his turn, he swung, set a monster, and I was able to carry out my initial plan on the following turn. The game got incredibly grindy. We went back and forth for the longest time. However, in the end, admittedly, Ganon, he was able to take it. Though this was an incredibly enjoyable last match, and we did get second place with the updated hero list, which is something I really haven't done in quite a while at our locals. Overall, it was a fantastic weekend, and the deck definitely overperformed. I did not expect to take the game on the Mystic Mind player, on Zach, on Gareth. We won so many more matches than I expected. Paleozoic, Dynamiscus, and a Pointer were definitely the MVPs, and it was just such a fantastic way to end Master Rule 4. I really do feel like we learned so much over the last format. I feel like the deck got a lot better, and I love that we were able to end it with a more original version of the deck. So thank you guys for being a part of the journey. If you have any suggestions as to what I should side against Burning Abyss, if I should go first or second, how I should really play around that deck, I'd love to hear it because I did miss the formats where that was kind of the deck. So in the comments, let me know. Thank you to everyone who does leave comments, who is a part of this community, and who does actually continuously interact. I have really missed you guys over the last couple of weeks, and I should be back to posting more regularly now. With that said, I won't be attending locals in the near future, even if they are hosted, but episodes they will continue. I do intend to play on Discord with my friends from locals to kind of help keep that community alive, and I will also continue to buy lots of product from Mario to help him kind of work through rent in these really tough times. I have already started filming the next show, and I really do hope you guys out there, you are staying safe, and if not for yourselves, but for your friends, your family. In times like these, we really do need to look out for each other. And I know that a lot of us are really missing that locals vibe, that feel. Remember, this series has a lot of that. You can go back, you can rewatch these episodes. I tried really hard to capture the essence of locals, and hopefully it can help you guys kind of get through these times. If your friends are noting that they're also missing it, consider sharing episode 1 of the series with them on Twitter, on Reddit, anything of that nature. It really does help out the channel, and I think it can also be a real benefit to a lot of people right now. So I hope you guys enjoy the series. I will see you very soon with a brand new episode. I will keep you updated on my Twitter. And again, I have started the next one, so stay safe, stay healthy, and let's have a good old chat in the comments. I love you guys, and I will see you soon.